What's up, guys? Apologize for the poor lighting. I'm home, gonna get married on Saturday, so I'm just kind of waiting it out at my mother's house. So done like 4 mods to the Wicked Edge. Nothing really structural or functional or anything like that. No changes functionality wise. Just a couple add-ons that you can do to make it a little bit easier and cleaner to use. Got these ideas from the Wicked Edge forums and YouTuber Modified Z. First thing you'll notice is this big rolled up thing. I think it's drawer liner, something like that. I just rolled it up and then taped it to the base. The whole reason I do this is because when you're changing stones, you'll slip the stone off the base, then it'll just fall. If you don't have something to catch these stones here, for one, it'll bang up against your base, possibly damage your shaft or your joints or the base. But another thing is, most of the time if you don't have something to catch it, it'll torque the joint one way or the other. So it'll actually in time start to loosen this pivot right here, and that's what keeps your angle consistent. So you want that to stay as unadulterated as possible. So that's what this does. It just catches this so the joint doesn't get torqued in any fashion that it's not meant to be. Second thing you'll notice is the straws on the shafts. I got this from the Wicked Edge forums. All it does is makes the diameter of the shaft a little bit thicker, so the interface between the stones and the shaft is a little bit tighter. Takes out some of the play in the system. Third thing you'll notice is these washers. First, I have this big rubber fender washer down here. The inner diameter is 5/16, I'm pretty sure. Got this from a hardware store. This large diameter rubber washer pretty much just keeps the dust, the metal dust, out of this joint down here. The metal dust will in time get in there and I'm sure cause some damage, long-term damage, maybe wear your arms out prematurely. So the whole reason for this big rubber gasket or washer, fender washer, is to keep metal dust out. This neoprene washer slips on there as well. That's just a second little safeguard from the metal dust, but also it stops the stones from being able to be slammed down onto the joint. So when you are sliding the stones down, sometimes you can go too far down and the stones will get stuck on the joint. Well, this just keeps the stones from being able to be slammed down onto the joint, and you can just kind of rest the stone there and rotate it. It just kind of helps out with me. Fourth thing I did was got these neodymium magnets, pretty strong magnets. You can lay them here and here, but they're strong enough to where just the attraction from sticking them on either side of this clamp keeps them held against the clamp. The clamp's actually aluminum, so it has no magnetism at all, but they will actually attract each other from either side of the clamp, and this will catch any metal dust that falls on this side or that side. And you'd be surprised, a lot of metal dust comes off this machine because there's no water to whisk it away or anything like that, so you will have tons of metal dust all around here. And this will catch it. It actually does a really good job of it. There will be a lot of metal dust on these things at the end of a sharpening job. As well as doing this, you can take them and kind of suck the metal dust off the edge if some is sticking to it. You do want to be careful not to magnetize your blade, though, because you can, with strong enough magnets, you can actually magnetize other pieces of steel and ferrous metals. You don't want to do that because then all the metal dust will just stick to the knife edge like crazy. So people were asking me, do I think the system is worth it? And I do. I think the system is worth it, and it can definitely give you great edges. My problem, well, Clay Allison actually told me that the people who have the most trouble with this system are people that come from the Edge Pro. Don't know why that is, but it just seems to be a trend. My problem was probably 50% technique and 50% the slop in the arms. A lot of people say that the slop in the arms didn't affect them, but it obviously did affect me because I couldn't get anything even resembling a sharp edge with the previous arms, and on top of that, I was rounding the tip of every knife I did like crazy. As soon as I stuck these on here, my tips are like needles, and the very first edge I got was at least sharp enough to push cut printer paper. So this did help a lot, and a little change in technique and me being more conscientious is what allows me to now whittle hair before I even take the knife out of the clamp. I mean, every edge I've gotten after the nums on, I can just whittle hair up and down the edge, no problem. So I do think this system is worth it, because on the Edge Pro, it's actually very difficult to pull an edge off the machine that will whittle hair. There's just a lot of variation. Knives that don't have a huge flat surface to sharpen are incredibly difficult on the Edge Pro to get hair whittling edges, because there's just so much variation in the way we hold the knife onto the machine. The clamp takes away pretty much all of that variation, and I have been consistently, no matter what steel it is, getting hair whittling edges right in the clamp. That's pretty amazing. I'm really happy with it. I don't have the ceramics yet, but what I did to get my mirror edges and hair whittling edges, I just cut sandpaper to the size of the stones, tape them on there with blue painter's tape, and they work perfectly. I've got 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and 2,500 here. And it gives me a great mirror edge and a hair whittling edge, and then you strop it with the 3.5 and 5 micron after that, or 5 and then 3.5, and you just have a ridiculous edge. A really, really, really good edge. I'm really happy with the machine. For doing customer knives, I always used to have to do the edge on the Edge Pro and then work a little magic, either freehand or with some other sets, to get the hair whittling edges. Now if I do your knife, it's going to be hair whittling as soon as I pull it off the machine. And that's pretty much guaranteed, because there's no variation at all. And I really like that. So I'm in love with this system now. Had to work out some kinks. As always, there's a learning curve, and now I love it. So anyway, just an update showing the mods to the system. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.